live. I always mess up this setup. I swear. We will have hopefully a better live stream setup in the future. I'm here with Rick right now. No, welcome to the week 3 update of Mini Monster Madness. We will have Jake in studio very soon, but we have finally 4 monsters left in Mini Monster Madness. We have had a lot of episodes. We've had 12 episodes. We're doing 4 a week. And in the previous Monster Madnesses, we usually did just 3 a week with an update video, but this Mini Monster Madness, we've done 4. And we do have 4 left. We are going to go through the exact percentages. Actually, I can't see the exact percentages on this device, but I wish I would have got that on my other device. Let me first read some comments to see who's in the comments section. I know I kind of didn't plan this ahead too far ahead, but let me log in here and see who's in the comment section. I saw Kijan was in there just from the screen right here. Let me see. Let me pull up the live chat. See, Kenneth is in the chat. What's going on? And then Kijan, how you doing? Kenneth said, can't wait to see the Final 4 battled out. Yep, definitely. It's definitely crazy. It always gets exciting once you get to the end of these tournaments. You see all these monsters battle, all these different votes, and to see the final matchups is always fun. Godzilla's in the chat. How you doing? So basically, the Final 4 was decided. The Final 4 consists of George, Lizzie, and Smaug and Scrapper. We had Ralph and George in the first episode of this week. It was episode 8. No, it was episode 9. And that was a matchup that we already saw, and I kind of explained in my video that we already saw the matchup, and we saw that Ralph technically won. But we were saying how all 3 of those Rampage monsters were battling each other in that moment. So you take it could be a 50-50 fight. Ralph was maybe going to win, but the humans stepped in. The rock character stepped in, so who knows who's going to win. But George won pretty convincingly with the votes in that battle. And then you had Fenris Wolf versus Lizzie, which was, in my mind, one of the best matchups yet of this tournament. Absolutely crazy matchup. Didn't know who was going to win. 2 powerhouses. And Lizzie won. And that was actually more split. I think the vote was more 75-25 with Lizzie winning. Closer. I thought it was going to be closer than that, to be completely honest. But Lizzie pretty convincingly won that. There was a significant amount of people that thought Fenris Wolf would win. But Lizzie is clearly a powerhouse and has already ripped the head off of one wolf, which is Ralph. So maybe that's what convinced people's minds in that aspect. Well, let me get back to the chat here to acknowledge some of the people that have jumped in here. I'm getting a bunch of things just loading in. Smilezilla is in the chat. How you doing? I like Squids is in the chat as well. Kenneth says, I hope Scrapper wins, but sadly will most likely lose due to Smaug or Lizzie. Yeah, I know. Scrapper is up against a lot. I think Scrapper's already overachieved. Maybe not overachieved. Scrapper has done a lot in the movie for being a little Jaeger like that, but in this matchup, in this tournament, stands much more of a chance. And you know, statistically speaking, Scrapper does have a chance to beat Smaug. Now, to say just the name of Smaug to go up against a creature like that, not easy at all, and is a big feat to accomplish. But I'm rooting for Scrapper too. Yeah, Smaug or Lizzie. I mean, to imagine Scrapper beating Lizzie seems like a very tough thing to accomplish. But hey, it is possible. You never know, and you never know how the vote's going to end up, because that's ultimately what decides it. Let's see. Godzilla said, how do you put the pictures on Monster Madness, the monster's face? Yeah, I feel like you asked me this before. Are you talking about the actual graphic I do before the videos, or are you talking about something else? Let me know, because I thought I answered that before, and maybe I'm not talking about the right thing. Let's see. Clody, I don't know if that's how you say your name. Where's the battle? Why is this just a talk? Well, yeah, so if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen what's happening, I upload videos of the Mini Monster Madness actual episodes where I talk about it. See who would win. I have a little cool graphic at the beginning where they look like they're fighting. And then the vote is that night of the episode. Then they move on. And then each week I update it to see who's moved on. So now at this point, there's 4 left after all the votes that have happened. So there are 4 monsters left in Mini Monster Madness. So this is just a live stream talk. It's easier to do the live stream. All right. Are we back here? Please tell me we're back. Same thing's happening. Losing Wi-Fi again.
Serious?
Yep.
We're always stopping for a little bit, but...
Because Jake's been accurate on both and then Mini Monster Madness. But yeah, why don't we talk about that? So the actual results, George, Lizzie on the left side, and then Smaug and Scrapper on the other. Now you predicted the Final Four, George to be there, Lizzie to be there, Smaug to be there, and then you had Rexy instead of Scrapper. But you got 3 of the 4 right.
I remember when I turned it in, you said, did you even take your time on it? Or I was like, I did.
Yeah, clearly you did. I mean, you predicted Godzilla to win the first one.
And I think that's horse crap that Rexy lost to Scrapper. Rexy has a bigger following than that. Rexy's a dominant force, and I think one tail whip knocks Scrapper back, and then it's over.
Scrapper's a giant mech and has a Marinati piloting and has a lot of ability there. But, I mean, clearly the vote was already in. But you got 3. I got 2. I predicted the Final Four for me was, I think I had Ralph, I had Lizzie, and then I had Smaug and Alien Queen on the bottom. So I had 2. I have Lizzie and Smaug at the right spots. And then we have some people in the house that are kind of all around. But we'll go through everyone else's brackets when we get there. But yeah, basically I was talking about the other side was Smaug versus, who was it? Indominus, which was, the vote was closer than I thought for that one. I really thought Indominus just didn't stand a chance. But I think it was, Indominus had around 20%, maybe hovering around that. Because, I mean, you did think Indominus had a chance against Smaug in that fight.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Indominus was definitely he's built. He has a lot of features that are very, very useful in a fight. Or lost a fight. He just got drowned by a.
Just broke. Let's keep talking as for live.
Put an end to this crap.
We're still live, right? So,
yeah,
but yeah, hey.
I gotta get back downstairs before I get food. I
want
to stop in.
He's stopping in, but we have people texting out. But basically, if you can let me know in the comments right now, who do you think is going to win out of this Final Four? Let me know right now in the comments. I know a lot of people have already made their predictions, but who do you think will win out of this Final Four right now? But why don't you give your final predictions, even because you're the all-knowing god of MMA?
I mean, I said from the get-go that this was just a crash course for Lizzie to face off with Smaug, and I think Lizzie's gonna win. And that's my prediction, and so far it's worked out that way. I still think Rexy should have beat Scrapper. That kind of pieced me off, but glad to have 3 of the top 4, and I think I'm gonna have the final 2 and the champion, Lizzie. So
you had Lizzie winning it all?
Yeah, I have Lizzie winning it all.
Alright.
I have Lizzie winning it all. And yeah, Kenneth Nichols, is it?
Yeah.
Yep. Kenneth Nichols, I agree with you 100%. He's got a good chance, and hopefully he'll pull it off. But definitely good bracket so far, and I'll see you guys. I'm going to stop in to get some food. Obviously the Alabama game really threw me off. I'm getting food now at close to 10 o'clock, but for the stop in.
Thanks for stopping in, and
is that good?
Yeah.
How much more you can talk?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to
I can close off. You're closing off.
No,
closing off.
I'm not closing off. So basically, so Kenneth said my final 4 was Ralph, Fenris Wolf, Smaug, and Scrapper. Okay, so that's pretty similar to mine. Fenris Wolf. So the only other one we had different was you had Fenris Wolf beating Lizzie, which is actually, the funny thing is for my bracket I had Lizzie winning, but then when I actually broke down the video, as you see in the Fenris Wolf versus Lizzie battle, I actually had Lizzie winning, or I had Fenris Wolf winning in that matchup, because I thought Fenris Wolf is such a superpowered being, and when I was actually thinking about it, because I drew up my tournament, my bracket, and wasn't really thinking that much, just kind of filling it out. But when I actually did the breakdown, I was thinking about it, thinking about how Fenris Wolf conquered the 9 realms with Hela, and how Lizzie was able to get stabbed through the eye. I actually said Fenris Wolf was going to win, but luckily I wasn't able to change my decision because I had Lizzie winning on my bracket that I actually wrote down. And we do have them in paper, so we're not making it up. We have them in paper. I actually didn't hold up the bracket. I don't know what I just held up to the camera. That's my breakdown thing. But yeah, I had Lizzie winning on my bracket, luckily. But we are going to break this down by point values because, like I said in the last video or last breakdown video, The loser in our family that filled out the brackets, whoever has the worst bracket has to do a punishment on the live stream and is going to be drinking something disgusting on the live stream. I'll try to advertise it a little ahead of time because it's Saturday right now. Monday is the first Final Four episode, episode 14, and then episode 13. Episode 14 will be Tuesday. Have a day off, and then Thursday will be the championship. And at that point, we will know everything that happened in the bracket, and we will know for sure how good everyone did in the bracket, and who will be doing the punishment in that live stream coming up. And we'll try to advertise that. Hopefully, make these live streams a little more exciting. I know this channel is now the biggest live stream audience. I really appreciate everyone who's able to make it in here, though. And I like doing these live streams to be able to obviously talk to people live, but also be able to update on what's going on in the bracket. And let me see. Kenneth said, yeah, probably Lizzie to win. Yeah, Lizzie's the favorite. Although Smaug is a formidable monster, and if anyone can take out Lizzie, I think it could be Lizzie. It could be Lizzie. It could be Smaug, because I was watching that Hobbit movie, and Smaug is nothing to mess with. He's an absolute beast. Smilezilla said Scrapper will probably come out last. Yeah, probably. I think it's just tough. I mean, you think about a thing like Scrapper, and when you compare it to everything else in that movie, you think it's just this little weak thing, which it is compared to these giant Jaegers and Kaijus. But at the end of the day, Scrapper is able to jump out of an airplane, crash through buildings, has weaponry on her, and with Amara Namani as the pilot, even at the beginning, is something that you think about. Smaug didn't really go up against anything that was even semi-dangerous or another giant creature. So you have a giant robot in comparison to humans going up against a dragon. I think it stands a chance. I mean, there's a statistical chance, at least. And so, hey, who knows? And if everyone wants, but Kijan says, I would love to see Smaug versus Lizzie. Yeah, well, we will probably see that, most likely. I mean, the chances we see Smaug and Lizzie are pretty good, to be completely honest. I mean, I think Lizzie going up against George. George killed Lizzie in the actual movie by a surprise attack. And I've already done this matchup, so I'm kind of repeating those points. And stabbed her through the eye, got really lucky, and it was a surprise attack. But realistically, if Lizzie and George were lined up and fighting, I mean, who's going to win? A giant mutant crocodile with an ankylosaurus tail, or a smaller giant gorilla in George? I mean, it was pretty much shown that plot armor was basically what got George through that battle. George could win it. I mean, it is possible, but I think Lizzie wins that battle for sure. But if anyone's joining in here that just joined in and didn't hear what I said, I have the picture on the thumbnail of the actual tournament, but let me know who you think's going to win it all. And if you're watching this afterwards, make sure you put it down below as well to let me know who you think's going to win. I know certain people gave their recommendations or their predictions before this whole thing started, and seeing who they thought was going to win the bracket. I don't know if anyone wrote that down, but I think the ones that are at least commented and they're there, I can see the time of when they were done. And so in that way, I can kind of include you guys in on the challenge, although we are doing a punishment, so it can only include the people that are in the house, because we're this was just a minor small update for Mini Monster Madness. Usually do this for Monster Madness, but this is a good way to get video out. And the final four monsters, just one more time to clarify it, is George, Lizzie, Smaug. On the other side is Smaug and Scrapper. Now, there's 4 left, and there's only 3 episodes left for these final matchups, this final battle, and who will come out on top? My personal prediction, my bracket, my individual bracket, I have Lizzie winning it all. It's just to tell everyone, I have Lizzie beating, who I had was Ralph in that spot in my bracket, so I had Lizzie winning. I had Smaug winning, and I had Lizzie and Smaug meeting the championship. And I had Lizzie winning. I don't know if I'm going to change that if that matchup does occur for the actual video when I post it. But I do think Lizzie's going to win this. There was plenty of monsters that had a chance to beat Lizzie, though, too. Is the thing that some people were saying there were too many overpowered monsters in this tournament. But I really think there was a lot of powerful ones that could have taken down another one. Like we saw Fenris Wolf versus Lizzie in the second round. That's an even matchup for me. And then Smaug versus Indominus is pretty even. And obviously the actual lineup of where the monsters were placed in this tournament. You know, if you've already heard, that it's random. I put these names on a wheel, completely random. All the Rampage monsters ended up on the same side just by luck, and that was just the luck of the draw. But I do think it ended up pretty good. I know there's some people recommending me to actually place them myself on the actual bracket. That's what I did with the first Monster Madness. And the only way I'd be able to do that is if I do the 1 through 4 seed on each thing. I basically find the monsters that I think are the most powerful, name them as the 1 seed, and then I kind of randomly place them on each one. And that's the only way, in my opinion, that I could possibly do it and pick it myself. Part of the fun is having it as random because you don't know what's going to happen. But that's probably the only way I can have it randomized, or actually my decision without making it just completely biased. Because if I do that, then people will be blaming me. I have favoritisms towards a certain monster, then we just get into that whole mess. Smilezilla said Kong 2012 versus Scrapper or Kong versus Lizzie. Now that's an interesting one. Kong 2005, goodness, that would be a tough one for Kong. I mean, we've seen Kong go up against the V-Rexes, but if Kong saw Lizzie walking through Skull Island, I think his king mantle will be on the line for sure. I don't know if he'd be able to pull that one out. And Kong versus Scrapper, that'd be an interesting one. I will for sure write those down and keep note of those for after this Mini Monster Madness. I do have one video already planned to come out after Mini Monster Madness that I really love. I have a new music connection where I'm able to get really cool music to use for those videos. Because I know some of the most popular videos on my channel are not the ones where I'm talking. I like doing the ones where I'm talking. They're easier. And the music ones I really love to do, where I have the movie scenes and then the music behind it, which is, I love some of those videos. And most of those are my most popular ones. My 2 million view video, another 2 million view one, is the ones where the music's behind it. Finding the music has always been difficult. I finally found a connection that I believe I can use music, be able to use it for free, copyrighted and striked, not to worry about any of this crap. So look forward to an awesome video coming out after Mini Monster Madness, which isn't that long, that I do use some music. And I'll try to link them down below, give them a shout out, even though I'm paying for the service, but they're a really good service. Now, Kenneth said, now that I think about it, Scrapper versus Smaug could go either way. They both have lots of fans. Both sides could say reasonable reasons for why the other would win. That's true. I mean, I don't know how big Scrapper's fan base is. Clearly, it's pretty big, though, because versus Rexy, I do like to think that most people voting these are voting honestly with what they think. But there are a lot of people that just really love one monster and they want to vote for them. And that's true. I did not expect... I thought the Rexy versus Scrapper one was going to be a lot closer. It ended up being closer 80-20 versus what I thought was going to be maybe a 70-30. But it ended up being way more lopsided. So that's a good point, Kenneth, because that means Scrapper clearly has a lot more fans than I thought. And I had Scrapper in a couple videos, and maybe I need to include him in some more videos, and maybe that could go either way. But just thinking about it from a statistical standpoint, Scrapper does have a chance to win, because Smaug has that weak spot on the chest. Scrapper has weapons, and we haven't seen Smaug go up against any other creature like that. So who knows? And then Fan says King Kong. Well, King Kong kind of won the first round of this matchup in this tournament this year. But who knows? Maybe King Kong will end the next Mini Monster Madness if we have it. Keyjon says Lizzie kills Kong so easily. I mean, if George can't beat Lizzie, since Kong is more weaker than George, then Lizzie destroys Kong 2005. Yeah. Keyjon, that is a good point. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. I was saying if Kong 2005 saw Lizzie walking on Skull Island, don't know how much he can do. I mean, I don't think Kong's going to be able to rip the jaws open of that Lizzie. Don't think that's an alternative since Kong is basically the size of Lizzie's jaws. Definitely don't see that happening. But, you know, it would be interesting to see. I mean, yeah, George could do something. He's kind of more of a super-powered being versus Kong, who's proportionally an ape with no really superpowers. And doesn't have healing abilities, so I agree that I have Lizzie beating George, so no doubt Lizzie would beat King Kong 2005 as well. And then Franz says, I think that Smaug versus Lizzie in the final Mini Monster Madness. Okay. So Smaug versus Lizzie. Yep, that's what I think too. I think that George. There's a chance, maybe George and Scrapper have that fan base that can push him over. But yeah, I agree. I think it's Lizzie and Smaug. I originally thought that's what it was going to be for my bracket, but then I thought Fenris Wolf could get in there, maybe mess some things up. But it seems like it's a popular opinion. People were saying that Lizzie was too overpowered for this tournament. It actually started out, funny enough, I saw people, because I'm always worried about there being too OP of a monster just to cruise through the thing with no competition. That's my worst fear, because I want it to be a really good, entertaining tournament. It's always crazy because you don't know who's going to win, who's going to advance. So I wanted it to be just like all these other ones, crazy, don't know who's going to win, it's random. People were saying that Fenris Wolf was too overpowered, but then I saw someone say Lizzie, then I saw someone say Smaug. So then I realized there's so many of these that you really can't. There wasn't one OP one, so I think it was pretty even. And now, in my opinion, like Franz just said, Smaug and Lizzie will most likely meet in the championship, but hey, I don't want to say it yet. It's definitely likely. I think Vegas has the odds in Lizzie and Smaug's favor. But if that's already decided, who do you guys think? You might as well say it now because we will not have a live stream before the championship. Who do you think's gonna win, Lizzie or Smaug? Because it's a pretty close matchup. I've been thinking about it for a while. Okay, X Devil says Smaug wins. It's close because Lizzie is very powerful. It's that giant crocodile with armor, but it's going up against a fire-breathing dragon. Now, can fly above and just try to roast Lizzie with a fire. I'm kind of doing my matchup video live on air right now. But can Lizzie take the fire? I don't know. I think Smaug is very tough. Can Lizzie really fight that one spot that can kill Smaug? Or can Lizzie tear apart the actual armor that that Smaug has? Because obviously Smaug is a powerhouse, but that's comparing it to battling these armies of semi-normal humans and elves that can shoot arrows. So Smaug's not going up against many tough creatures that we've seen. Unless there's lore behind Hobbit and Lord of the Rings where he's fighting bigger dragons, that changes everything. But for the movie, we do not see any of that. We see him get killed by one guy shooting an arrow. Does not look too convinced or too good for him in that situation. Stephen Farrow's in the chat. How you doing? Kenneth says if you're still taking suggestions, I would love to see Raji versus Scunner. Hey, no, I definitely am. Obviously, during Mini Monster Madness, I'm focusing on this. But after, I will try to get back to doing at least one a week. Keep you guys entertained with the versus videos. I try to at least do one a week. I took a little break before Mini Monster Madness because, obviously, the build-up and planning and a lot of stuff for Mini Monster Madness takes a lot of time and effort to really... I want to make sure I don't burn out in doing 4 or 5 videos a week. That's why I try to give myself a little time for that. But I'd like to be able to not only do a versus video every week, but try to mix it up with which one I'm doing, the different universes. Obviously, you guys recommended me to watch Pacific Rim the Black, which I did some matchups in. So that majorly mixed it up for sure in that aspect. Lizzie, so Keyjon says Lizzie's going to win. X-Devil says Smaug's going to win. X-Devil says Lizzie does take durability and stuff like that, but Smaug is just on another level. Yeah, it's kind of hard to determine whether he's on that next level because of the stuff that we've seen from the movie, but we've heard of a lot of stuff in the lore, and Smaug just looks so formidable in that movie. I really wish they could have matched him up with some other kind of monster to try to get some comparison, but I guess we won't see it since Smaug's dead, obviously, unless we get some prequel about that would be interesting. I don't know if they could do that. If they did some kind of Hobbit prequel with the other dragons. I've heard Smaug is the smallest dragon. I don't know if I heard that from the comments of this video or another one. And that's kind of crazy to me. And that really opens up the door for them to show a lot of stuff like that. That would be really interesting to see. Let me know if that's true or if I'm just completely losing my mind if I made that up. I don't know if I'm just completely making that up or not. Stephen Farrow says Smaug stomps. Keyjon says Lizzie could literally rip Smaug's head off, just like what he did to Ralph. See, now I could see that happening. Now, the Smaug is hyped up so much in The Hobbit that I don't see it happening in that way. But you think about it, does Smaug ever consider, or anyone in that realm consider fighting anything like Lizzie? Probably not. I mean, you think Smaug's considering fighting a giant crocodile with armor and ankylosaurus tail? I don't think so. So I think if Lizzie gets a bite of Smaug, it would be trouble. It would be, I don't know if Smaug could get out of it, to be completely honest. Uh, I mean, she. Oh, okay. Yeah. Lizzie, she. X Devil says Smaug is stronger, bigger, has better durability, faster, more agile, and his fire is 6,000 degrees Celsius. Yeah. So we're having a live debate right now in this matchup. And first of all, these monsters still, we're acting like this match was already confirmed, which I know I said in the comments. But they still have to win a battle first. Lizzie still has to beat George, and Smaug still has to beat Scrapper. So we have to make sure they don't look by those matchups. Red Comics is in the chat. How you doing? X Devil said Howard knows Smaug's durability is way too OP for that. Red Comics said, have you thought of doing one with the Dweller in Darkness from Shang-Chi? Yeah, I actually have. Shoot, yeah, I had meant to. I kind of wanted to wait a little bit because not only to get some more information on those creatures from that movie, but also for copyright reasons, because obviously and spoilers, because I know in the trailers they didn't show any of that. So I feel like I saw, what did I see, Shang-Chi when I was in the break period, and then I did this. I feel like, when did I, no, maybe that was before that. Yeah, there's no doubt I definitely want to get both of those, the Dweller in the Darkness and both of those creatures from that movie in a matchup for sure. Gonna try to see who I can match them up with, maybe in the MCU first, and then see Smaug. I guess would be a good matchup for that. Maybe that would be a good size comparison matchup. But definitely, I want to do that. Try to get some HD footage to show in the matchup, maybe some HD pictures at least. And I wanted to make sure, spoiler wise, but also for copyright wise, because I know they probably do not want people posting stuff about that. But I think I'm probably good now to do it. After Mini Monster Madness, for sure going to try to do that. X Devil says the one spot doesn't matter. He's scolding is harder than steel. Yeah, I mean, the one spot, that's the thing. I mean, for Lizzie, I don't know if the one spot's going to matter because, I mean, if Lizzie got a bite off, bit down on Smaug's head, and just kept biting, there's a good chance one of those teeth, one of those spikes is eventually going to get him, right? There's a good chance. But, Keyjon says, bro, Smaug has a weak spot that Lizzie can take advantage of. X Devil says Lizzie isn't as smart. Okay, let's argue in the comments. Yeah, true. Yeah, hey, argue in the comments after this is over, even though this is a good discussion. I wish I could have both of you call in. It'd be a really interesting segment for the live stream. And hey, maybe for the championship, instead of me doing a video, I'll just do a live stream for the championship. And people can call in and argue who they think should win. That'd be an interesting video idea. X Devil says, Howard, it won't matter because there's a difference between Lizzie trying to bite the hole and a tiny arrow going through it. How can you not see that? Well, yeah, I'm going to follow with Keyjon's comment that you guys can battle out in the comment section after this, if that matchup even happens. But that's true. An arrow going through and teeth, I don't know. I think I'll save my comments for the actual matchup because I have a lot of thoughts, and if that matchup happens, I'll save it for then. Fran says that I think Lizzie will win or Smaug gonna win. Yep, they're two of the favorites. Like I said, I think Lizzie's gonna win. But if Lizzie and Smaug make it to the championship, it could be a coin toss. It's so even. I think that you think about it, Lizzie died by these one tiny eye getting stabbed, and the way that Smaug dies is a little arrow through a one weak spot. It's kind of crazy that similarity. Both of them died by seemingly no weaknesses, no spots to get killed, and there's one tiny little spot that get killed. So I kind of just realized that now in this live stream. That's a crazy comparison. For the way they both die, that's interesting. And that's what makes that matchup so crazy, in my opinion. I feel like I should film that video right now. Although it's not decided yet. It's the final four. This is the week 3 update. It's the final four. There's still 4 monsters left. I don't want to count George and Scrapper out because they burned their way to this spot. So I'm going to give them a fair chance and see what happens. Red Comics, only a black arrow can pierce dragon skin and Smaug's weak spot. And then X Devil says yes. Red Comics, thank you. Yeah, okay, well, okay, well, I don't know about that. I haven't done enough research into that to know if that's a special kind of arrow. It looked like in the movie he kind of grabs it off the ceiling and brings it out. Maybe it's a special arrow. If it is, that'll make a big difference. But I still think that weak spot could be affected by other stuff. I don't know. And then Keyshawn says a little arrow, laughing emoji. Yeah. Well, X Devil said a black arrow. Steven said, yeah, tiny weak spot which Lizzie won't be able to hit. Plus, Lizzie isn't smart enough to even know it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he doesn't know where the weak spot is, but I'll try to back you up, Keyshawn. I think that the weak spot, yeah, he doesn't know where it is, but at the end of the day, Lizzie's just gonna keep biting him. If he's still moving, Red Comic said it is a special arrow that is part of J.R. Tolkien's Middle Earth lore. Okay, hey, I appreciate that information because that will be very useful in that matchup. If there's something like that, then that just kind of goes in a whole nother realm of kind of the Fenris Wolf kind of area where you're dealing with some stuff above, not just like a mutant animal, but like stuff that you need a very specific item to kill a very specific high powered being. But at the end of the day, who knows? The people voting may not know about that, but I'll try to mention that try to do some research and mention that in the actual video. And then you guys can argue in the comments, though. But this is going to wrap up this stream. Thank you, everyone that was able to join. This is supposed to be an update video. There's 4 monsters left. We got George, Lizzie, Smaug, and Scrapper. Sounds like a lot of people are already counting the championship as Lizzie and Smaug. We will see. We have a video coming out Monday, Tuesday. Monday will be George versus Lizzie. See who wins that. And then Tuesday will be Smaug versus Scrapper. There's some people that think Scrapper might be able to win. You never know. Scrapper, give him some prayers because I don't know if he's going to really stand a chance in that battle against Smaug. But once again, thank you, everyone. Let me see. Franz, X-Devil, Keyjon, Red Comics, Kenneth. Did I miss anyone? I like Squids was in here. I think that was it. If there's anyone else I missed, I apologize. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this stream. Make sure you stay tuned for Mini Monster Madness Week 4. It is all coming down to this. We got 4 monsters left. Make sure you leave your predictions down below. And you can keep arguing down below as well to see who wins and who you think will win in this Final 4 matchup of Mini Monster Madness. Horror Guy, hey, sorry, I see you just joined in, so we're just closing out the stream now. Thank you for joining, though. Hey, thanks for always commenting on the videos. And we were about to wrap up the stream. Sorry you just joined in at the end. But hey, we're going to be got videos Monday, Tuesday. Obviously, we got the Kentucky live streams as well. But we'll have another live stream at the end of next week. Actually, it might be, we have the championship Thursday. So the live stream might be Friday or Saturday. But whichever day that is, it will be the punishment forever as the worst bracket for Mini Monster Madness. Look forward to that. That will be a fun video. I'll try to plan it way ahead. But thanks for everyone for joining. And stay tuned for the last week of Mini Monster Madness. Thanks, guys.